Tag everyone in this bitch. I don't even come down from Mount Olympus too often to strike lightning bolts, and that ain't even what time I'm on right now. But this needs to be addressed because this is fucking wild. You feel me? This is wild. Wild. You feel me? It don't even make sense. So yeah, tag this in all the groups. You feel me? Much love to my partners. Shouts to my partner Uriel Winfrey. Just dropped a new single. He on a roll on TV too. You feel me? Shouts to everybody. Put this in the groups. You feel me? Tag Piper Boy. Like pause. You feel me? Because I want to I could probably shed a lot of light that hasn't been shed, and when my name is being thrown in the mix in a malicious fashion, when I'm beyond reproach in all situations that could be even perceived in this whole thing, like, please, you feel me? Like, you wild if you think that I'm too prominent to speak out, because the whole reason this thing even existed is because people chose to not even be someone's got moved with someone without certification, moved beyond their level of professionalism. So we need to get the peoples in here. You feel me? Put this in Western Conference. Tag everybody. Invite everybody. Cause fuck all that shit. You feel me? You feel me? My name in the mix on some bullshit. That ain't working at all. You feel me? Period. That's just all the way out. All the way out. I'm finna invite people to this shit right here. Hope everybody's enjoying their Friday evening. This shit ain't cracking though. This shit ain't cracking at all. Oh, I'm not gonna have good looks. Well, apparently 65 had some choice words which he removed. I have no ill rapport or intentions towards 65 whatsoever, but I think people need to know how this whole thing unfolded from my perspective. Initially, I was first made aware of let me just wait till there's more people in here. I'm not going to tell this story just to the 14 of y'all. We need I know it's Friday night. Most of y'all ain't on shit though. Keep it a Stidnack. Get another 30 people in this bitch, and then we can talk about it, because this don't make no sense. You feel me? I'll tell you all about it though, and my whole entire experience from this event, from the initial stages, when I was brought in, and I never really was, because for once, I heeded my instincts and was like, you know what, this seems like a little bit too Mickey for me to involve myself with. I'm just gonna stay on the outsides and just see how it plays out, because the business didn't add up. And usually I tend to think of myself as somewhat of a miracle worker, and I'll take unrealistic situations and I'll make them make sense, and I'll make them into a reality. But it wasn't even feasible, and I could tell from the jump, and even knowing who's involved, because I know what it takes. I know what it takes to throw events on that scale, and when you're making things an athletic competition with sanctioned rules that are state laws, it becomes a whole other thing. You feel me? I really want to get into it, but we need more motherfuckers in this bitch. You feel me? We need way more people in this bitch, and then we can really chop it up. What's up, my man Boca? What's happening with it? If we have more people in here, we can really chop it up, because there's a lot of get Nico in here, bro. For real, let me add Nico. Shit, because this is like too important of a narrative to just like slip under the rug. I could just ignore it, really, you know what I mean? But I feel like that's doing a disservice to the community if I ignore it. This is something that people need to be made aware of. I didn't watch Piper Boy's blog, but I can only imagine what it entailed. It's pretty fucking obvious because, you know, there's no motherfucking money. There never was. On Nico's show going on right now, that makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. Shit, I wish we could combine forces. I'll damn near call into his show if that's the case. Even though we started to amass a little bit of numbers in here, like, this shit is fucking... Okay, Nico's show not even going on yet. Because this shit is fucking Mickey as fuck, bro. Like, this whole thing is so goofy, bro. Like, it's hella funny. It's hella funny. Like, so first, I was made aware that there's... it's on... Shit, bro. I gotta do hella much to get on Discord. What the fuck I look like, bro? I'm not mad at anybody. I'm not mad at anybody in the slightest. I mean, I know, like, what bullshit looks like before I even am involved in the situation. And it's one thing, like, some people aren't even aware when they're doing it because their ambitions are just so great. They're like, they have the best intentions. They're trying to do something dope, and they think something is really, really tight, but they don't really understand like what it logistically entails to pull off something of that magnitude, and they get way ahead of themselves. And when, you know, I was kind of like brought in on, like, basically motherfuckers hit me up out the cut and asked me to produce $60,000. So just like pull $60,000 out of my ass from an investor. I was told that there was other investors already involved as well. And the total cost just needed to be met. And my first red flag, I mean, that's already like a red flag, you feel me? But beyond that, they were talking about like, oh, this is going to be for, we're going to be getting so much money out the back end and the pay-per-view and at the door that, you know, I stop right there. Never ever depend on money out the back door. This is fucking event planning 101. Like, you like take it from somebody that's lost my own ass, pause, a gang of times. You like tell Nico to combine forces with Alive, because I'm telling y'all, like, I know what the fuck. This is important. Like, I want Nico on to see this shit, because I'm not even the type of person to like speak on other people's business. Like, but when you know, just because even obviously it was promptly removed because there's no basis to it, and people like when Disaster and Math go live and all that shit happens, it's gonna like change the entire dynamic to a significant degree already. Like, I don't even need to say anything, but I feel like it's a disservice once again to the community when things like this aren't brought up. Because so I was hit up, I was asked for an exuberant amount of money, you feel me, $60,000 to find $60,000 worth of sponsors. I was like, well, yeah, you know, that's actually more feasible than you might realize, but I'm gonna need like some cursory information, like what's your overhead, what's your budget, what money have you already spent, what money are you going to spend, who's gotten what, how are these funds being allocated. And I don't really give a fuck, to be honest, why, but I need to know that, because anybody that's going to part with that sum of money in there, there's no way no one's going to give up that money without wanting to know way more info than that. That's just, you know what I mean? They have to see how they're going to get it back. And they have to, this is all like business 101. I'm not like giving away any fucking real trade secrets here. Like, if fools ain't telling you all this and they just fucking scandalous. But, you know, I understand, like, not everybody's as experienced and not everybody has the same breadth of knowledge in this capacity. So, but I mean, it'd be one thing if it's like a smaller event, but when you're talking about like the funds that these people were being told, like the numbers, like first of all, that 60 racks, once it took me three, four, five conversations of people lying to me and just saying blatantly inaccurate figures and just making things up until I was able to get them to admit what they really owed and how much they had really spent. What they really owed was over 100,000, well over 100,000. What they spent was zero, and the only reason that they got people to agree to it was for two reasons. The people that are in groups like Western Conference, like myself, and know what's up, you feel me, that are on a higher level, that were involved, that were in the knowledge of that card, they all were kind of like just trying, you know, out of good faith and wanting to see the coast do good, wanting to see how it panned out. We're like kind of running with it and not really like blowing the whistle. But people like Disaster, people like, you feel me, Math, people like Twerk, people like Surf, they don't be in these groups. They don't even be on Facebook like that. So they're not even aware of the people that they're dealing with or talking to. And they're just like, you know, they had a, the thing is this, like you're talking about, like Disaster is one of my closest homies. If somebody's waving that much money in his face, like I'm talking like he's expecting a six-figure deposit. The motherfucker is expecting a six-figure deposit, and this is somebody that, you know, I consider a brother. Like you know what I'm saying, was like in his wedding, all that shit. You feel me? Like, you know, but like he's finna be in my wedding type shit. I ain't finna say the boxing event not happening, Reese, but as of now, it ain't happening. And to be honest with you, like it low-key never was happening, and the only reason it had a chance of happening laid upon the contingency of somebody such as myself or Malathion, you feel me, like who actually brought me in. I'm involved on such like, was barely even, all I did was like get on the phone with Malathion and dude to get him to admit how much he really owed, because I was helping my boy to try to like secure an investment, you feel me? But like motherfuckers, there's no way it made sense. The numbers do not add up. No matter how many times you divide it, 8 divided by 4 is never going to equal 3. It's going to be 2 every single fucking time. You know what I mean? Like, and you know, I knew that 65, I really didn't think that he was capable of doing an event of this capability, but I wasn't trying to be a hater, and I wasn't trying to be a voice of dissent, and I was rooting for him. Do I think that the whole idea of people boxing in battle rap culture is somewhat exploitive to begin with? I could see that argument. It's definitely not why I would want to be involved. But I also remember, I'm old enough to remember the Rappers Boxing League back in the day when Willie D from the Ghetto Boys was catching the fade with Freddie Fox from Gangstar Camp and shit. And that shit was entertaining as fuck. So it's kind of funny to see. It's kind of dope to see like fools actually. And you know, the fact that if there would be an equalizing factor in a situation like Disaster versus Math, which is something that's so close to me because I was, you know, like it's like that could be cool and I could see some positive aspects to it. It was never something I was rooting against, but as someone that's been in the business for as long as I have been, I grew up in this shit, and as someone that it doesn't really, it don't take a fucking, it don't take, what's the motherfucker's name? Warren Buffett to figure out that this shit is not cracking, you feel me? Like it was obviously off top, you feel me? Like off top, it was Mickey as hell and was not finna go down. But like I said, I wasn't finna be a hater, but then like like when I'm hearing, okay, so first after several conversations, you finally, first you say that you need 60 racks, right? But really that's just like a figure that you're kind of pulling out your ass because you've promised people way more than that much. And even to secure deposits is going to cost way more than that much. And you don't have any additional capital secured like you said you did. Like you said, oh yeah, you feel me? Shots fired, dudes, whoop-de-whoop, Griffin them are going to put up the dough. Basically assuming, oh yeah, the white boy's going to take care of it. But guess what? You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all had no fucking conversation. He never agreed to put up that money. Like that money is ghost money. You're playing with invisible money. In New York, they call it ass betting. You know what I'm saying? Like in LA, they call it fucking. You feel me? Like finessing. You feel me? Like in the Bay, they call it. You feel me? Man, there's different words for it everywhere. It was pure cap, you feel me, is what it was. And at the end of the day, I know you didn't have bad intentions. I know 65 had no bad intentions, but this is, I wouldn't have even gone live. I tried to contact him, but when my name was used in such a disparaging way, like, even though it was deleted, like, get the fuck out of here, bro. You got me twisted if you think I'm not finna speak up. And just of course I was gonna, say something to Disaster because here's the cold part. The homie actually had preliminary conversations. Reese, I'm gonna address that in a second. The homie had preliminary conversations and had basically everything secure. Had 60 racks already. Somebody had agreed to put the money up and there was a whole situation. And then not only were they still fighting to retain ownership, because that 60 racks, don't get it twisted, that 60 racks, what it was finna do was save your fucking ass and your reputation and allow you to not look stupid from this. You feel me? Like, that's what that was. And it was dope that you were really lucky that it was going to even exist. But then after that conversation was had, I wouldn't have even talked to my people and asked about money unless I knew the full amount, you feel me, that was actually needed until I saw that budget. But when I asked for a budget right away. I was sent it, and it wasn't even itemized, and there was asterisks over all the totals. So there's no numbers. It's like, oh, okay, so you either don't want me to see it or you don't even know what it is. But after the homie had gone and extended himself and asked for the 60 racks, you feel me, and had already had that secured, guess what? I get on the fucking line, and it turns out that that's not even half of what would cover the basic deposits. And that's what he's just telling me, because when I finally feel like, damn, I need to talk to Disaster and let my homeboy know, because I really hope my homeboy's not depending on 6 figures or, high 5 figures, within the next week. And lo and behold, he was, you feel me? He was depending on that money. You're right, Reese, he should have. And the thing is this, rule number 1, you never depend on ticket sales for nothing. Whether it's a smaller event, whether it's a bigger event, you better have your forend, your back end, your side to side end, you feel me, and a buffer budget for any miscellaneous unexpected expenses that come up that are comparable to your overall budget, or else don't even fucking throw an event. You're in no position to throw an event. You can't be depending. We're way past the point in this culture of depending on door revenue for anything unless that's part of the agreement, which it never was. And I knew people aren't going to risk tuning into the Nico show. If you just Kayla, I would love to. I gotta step my Discord game up big time, you feel me? I want y'all. I wish Nico could go live in this motherfucker right now, and I could add him, because I would love to. First of all, is Discord an app or what? Like, do I got to download that shit? Like, what do I do? Because I'll go and join that conversation too. But this shit, like, you know what I'm saying? I want people to hear it directly from me. People feel free to ask me any questions or any questions that are being asked. Like, would love to address it. I mean, yeah, there's no point, like, no matter what, if it's a battle rap event, if it's a hip hop show, if it's any type of live event, if you don't have both income's already secured. Whatever you make out the door, that's supposed to be your profit as an investor. That's the cost you pay to be the boss. You have to spend to even be in that position, but that's why you get to eat on the back end. Really what you're supposed to do is take enough money to pay for the next event before you even, and then you start eating. That's what you're really supposed to do. You know what I mean? Yeah, please walk me through it. So, if it's an app, um, let me know. I guess it's called Discord. I'll download that shit and like just tell me like where to go from there. If there's a link, like I don't know how to do it. You feel me? Like how is easier than a live if I'm already live, big dog? Come on, John Black. Yeah, the door. If anything, if you're lucky, pay. You should really have a few budgeted. Like, ideally, it's good to have a few events budgeted before you even throw them. But I've thugged it out and made things happen out of nothing. And the cool part is like I totally understand. 65. Oh, what's up, Nico? Let me add you, bruh. I totally understand 65. You feel me? Like an entrepreneur myself who's thought beyond the scope of reality and made impossible things happen. But you have to like that doesn't mean that is advisable. And if you don't have a solid enough foundation in the game to make it so you could bounce back, and you're going to be in debt for a long motherfucking time. And things like this are not going to even get off the ground. Like when you're dealing with people of math, disaster, like artists of that caliber, and they're, a boxing match is way more of a risk as far as you physically, as far as your reputation, as far as any of that. You feel me? Like it's way more risky to for them to do that. So of course they're going to be asking for more money. Always have the DJ's money. Respect the DJ. Facts. People don't see people like things like that. They don't even like take into account like, oh, how's the DJ finna get paid? Like those things weren't even in his budget. And when I brought up, I tried to break it down to him, and he didn't really seem to understand. And then the next time we were supposed to talk to him, apparently he had a legal situation and was unable to talk. He was had a bunch of posts about blah 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 happened to him. I don't really like to speak on the next man's business, but so he was unable to talk. But I mean, the thing was this: all those dudes, disaster, math, all them, they were promised a deposit, which, by the way, is more than the deposit on a nice home in fucking Los Angeles County. Um, None of them received it, and it's now what's the date today, babe? The 27th. It was like literally like 11 days ago, damn near, they were supposed to receive that deposit, and it still hasn't come through yet. Shit still ain't landed yet. What's up, my brother Clutch in the function? So yeah, man. So like it's crazy. Like so, like disaster, who was assuming that money was going to be there, it wasn't. So what do I do as a good friend? I'm gonna try to do whatever I can to help secure that. But really, I wasn't even having those conversations yet, because the people that I would bring in that are money people into a situation like that, I would never do that to begin with. Happy birthday, by the way. You know what I'm saying? I was stuck in PA. Squad. You know what I'm saying? You see the roses. Um, I wouldn't even bring my money people to the table in a situation where they would lose their ass, and I wasn't confident that they would. But the homie Mala he felt confident enough in trying to bring them in and keep it alive. So my name was even used superfluously. It wasn't even, had no business being used, but I was just the dude that made you realize that you need to know how much money you need to spend is. I'm the dude that told you what the term overhead means. I'm not a snake, I'm a rooster. I'm born in the year of the rooster. That's 1981. You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing slimy about me, bruh. You feel me? Squad. Man, what's happening, King? Just gearing up for all these battle events that are coming up, all this new music coming up, trying to help push the line for the West wherever I can, really nothing new. Doing my thing. Shouts to my lady. She got some crazy things coming up too. I can't say, yeah, huh? But But yeah, 65 tweaking over there, bruh. 65 was, yeah, you feel me? He tweaking for that. That's why it's good he removed that post. I don't give a fuck he removed it or not. Like, that shit, I wanted to let y'all know in case anybody wants to know. Since you want to fucking be a name caller, let me fucking tell everybody in this community that I helped, start from the jump and push the line forward. And I'm a, important pillar of, I'm gonna let motherfuckers know what time is it. Since you was trying to fandangle the whole time, really, I know you, it's not like you had bad intentions, but bro, you didn't have money. You were talking about potential sponsors. Just because you know people that have money, or you know someone that knows someone, and you're related to people that have this or that, you think they want to come on, bro? That's not the way it works, dog. It's not the way it works. There was never any money from to begin with. Like, if I'm throwing an event, I don't fucking talk about it till the money's in my motherfucking pocket. You feel me? Like, that's the way it goes. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. I've had my mistakes. I've done it the wrong way too. That's how come it's easy for me to spot in others. So I wasn't finna put you on blast, even though you was doing my homeboy hella dirty. But you finna say that the homie is Snake. You finna have my name in there too, which is crazy. Why you finna mention me? Because I'm famous or some shit. It don't even make sense. But really, the whole thing is fucking corny, dog, and like it's a waste of time. Like, lucky I'm just home going over my album, like, like downloading fucking sound effects and stupid ass shit that nothing, not stupid, but you feel me, like. My energy is great. Let me show you my energy, bro. You don't know what the fuck, how the fuck I live my life. You feel me? Like, I got nothing but positivity, positive energy. You feel me? I don't need no fight. Ain't no motherfucking Snake over here. Fuck you think, dog? Stupid. Bro, the whole thing was foolish to begin with, dog. And like it shows just like I know as a community we get roped into this fucking shit because we choose to. Because we choose to. I know my sis Queen RX. See what time is it over here? You feel me? Um, man, like y'all knew this shit was stupid, but it was entertaining. It's literally like this rapper's boxing league is the battle rap equivalent. If this event was a rapper, it'd be Tekashi 6ix9ine, the rapper. You feel me? Like it's Tekashi 6ix9ine, the event. It's like 6ix9ine in event form. Like, it's just a circus, bruh. It's a circus. It's there for people's amusement. Y'all know there's no substance behind it. Y'all know, yeah, it's beautiful, right? That's me and my lady right there. And that's just part of it. I got some more too. Um, yeah. There's a baby. How many crystals you got?
Oh boy.
Hella crystals.
Like over 1,000.
All the crystals, but except for the kind that you don't need. 69 in event form, bro. 65, 6,900, bro. You lucky. You know what? I like you, bro. You the homie. You feel me? So I'm not gonna call you 6,900, bro. But like, you know what I'm saying? If it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, foolish. You foolish. You feel me? Like, come on, bro. Like, all we allowed this to happen, and all I did was try to help him make sense of it, like what you need to do. Like, okay, you need to have all your expenses listed out, how much it costs to pay for this, how much it costs to pay for that. Oh, this person's already been spoken to. Like, he's realizing, like, I don't know if he realizes the people that he's mentioning are good friends of mine that are only a phone call away. So I know that he hasn't even talked to them yet, and he's on the phone wolfing to me. Thanks, yeah. God bless. I'm healthy. You feel me? But yeah, dog, this whole thing was Mickey as hell. I don't even know what Brody got to say for himself. Why, it's not a good idea. Don't really behoove you speaking of somebody, myself, who holds himself to a high standard, especially now that I freed myself from certain vices that were hindering my progress as a man and my integrity. So now that that's out, then there really ain't really shit for me to be held accountable for, except for everything that I answer to, which is all positive. Oh yeah, I'll be in Orlando next month. Shouts to Guardians of the Culture. Shit's finna be turned. Got a whole little squadron of West Coasters finna splash out there. But yeah, man, like the 65 was all tweaking on fucking KG and me, and like, oh, you guys don't want to see my event be like successful. Like, nah, for what we do, we're just trying to tell you like the logistical reality of what throwing an event of this magnitude entails, and you don't want to fucking hear it. Like, you literally, it's like you want to like you. It's like when you like are trying to like tell a child that they're in trouble or they did something wrong, and they're like they put their hands over their ears and start screaming la 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 la. Like, that's what the fuck he was doing. Like, he didn't want to hear reality, bruh. Like, it don't even make sense. It don't even make sense, dude. Like, I'm not trying to admonish you. I'm not trying to lecture you. But I think that, like I said, the community deserves to know the reality of the situation, you know? And when people are, and I think it's a public service announcement, all of y'all as rappers, don't fucking, if someone says they have money, they don't have it till it's in your pocket. All y'all leagues, don't be saying that there's money that don't exist. Like I said, I'm guilty of it myself. I've made the mistake myself. I'm not beyond reproach. I'm not trying to say that I'm a fucking you know, that I'm better than anybody. But you know, there's a difference. There's a difference between, you know, a little something and a big something, and people making life-changing purchases. And I don't know, like, money's subjective to everybody, like what they consider a lot of money, but everybody knows that six figures is way different than a few $100s. Not that any of it, not that it justifies it. You know, business is business and should be held above board. And whether or not things have been my fault, I still hold myself accountable. As opposed, and that's called being honorable. That's called being a fucking adult. That's called being a man. You feel me? Being a king, having some motherfucking nuts, not being a JCat. Learn from the mistakes of others and learn from the mistakes of yourself. You feel me? Like don't fucking throw no event until you have the back end already in pocket. My man Keegan, he's commenting, he's already, you know, he's never had an issue getting paid with him. That's something he always knew. You feel me? Well, there's so many good people out there, but all it takes is people that don't do it right. So it's not about a single person being admonished. It's about speaking on the reality of what happened and preventing this from happening. And I know that when Disaster and Math happen to go live, you know, which they said they will, it's going to be a much different scenario. Any questions before I sky about this bitch? I might hop on this Discord thing. I ain't trying to fucking, you know what I'm saying, waste too much time in this hoe. I'm not going to say the album title, but my new album's coming soon. Shouts to The Curriculum by Beast Gatlin and the Kid Clutch. That shit go crazy. A lot of good music the homie's been putting out. Shouts to all Ilmax new joint. Shouts to my partner Bobby new joint. Final fucking time to ask a question. I know there's a cool amount of people in here. Y'all quiet as a motherfucking mouse. Isn't it ironic that mice are quiet but rats talk? Ha ha ha. That's what's up, Dopey, and you gonna like it. Yeah, I do. I guess I did cover it all, huh? As of now, because people tried to that event that had been outlined is not going down. Tom in the suit is gonna be cool, man. We'll talk more about that later. All 65 in the house. What's going on, bro? I just basically told people everything that we had discussed on the via Facebook Messenger, and just had a little response to your post that you said about me. You know, I can add you to my live if you want. I'm gonna add you. Try to add you. Wouldn't let me add Nico. It ain't letting me. Oh yeah, here you go. We supposed to be better than this. We supposed to be better than this. We are better than this. Won't let me. I'm trying to add you. Trying to add you. Won't let me add you. Oh, what up, bro?
Lush, what's up, man?
Oh no, man. I was getting a
All
bunch
right,
of.
hold. Before we jump into the shits, I'm a man. I'm an adult, so I will be the first to say I apologize to you. I got word about y'all, and Malathion cleared it up and said it's on him.
Mm-hmm.
So, as a man, I apologize to you for what I said.
I accept your
As a
apology.
man.
I accept your apology. And you can watch this whole live. I'm gonna leave it up. I ain't call you out your name or nothing like that. You feel me? Like I said I fuck with you and all that. You feel me? Like I kept it cool. I kept it honest. You feel me? And said everything I said to you before. I did also try to contact you via Messenger before I went live. Although you know what I'm saying. Now I
My
don't know.
phone was dead. I didn't get your message until I turned my phone on, and then I seen you was live, so I just came in. I didn't even read the message.
It's Gucci, first world problems. You know how it be. But
Yeah, man, but I am a man, so like I said, I do apologize for jumping out the window on you. You know what I'm saying? The call I got was definitely disturbing. And it was just some snake shit. It seemed like some fake ass wild shit. And I'm like, yo, like, you know what I'm saying? Me and Lush ain't never had no issues. We ain't never had no problems. It's always been love when we see each other. Whenever we talk to each other, it's always love. So I was wondering when the fuck would this narrative even come from? So I
yeah.
jumped out the window, and that's my fault. But in jumping out the window, I found out the motherfucker who's actually on the bullshit. And it's your boy Malathion on some snake shit, period. It's snake shit.
So break it down for me. So and anybody that knows. So what happened? You feel me?
Well, first off, we all had everything agreed with the battlers. Everybody agreed to a certain thing. You feel me? We all had a mutual agreement, so that's why things were handled the way they were handled. Once that started to slow down, we're like, you know what, fuck it, we're going to do it this way. Everybody agreed again, so we went about it that way. And in doing so, I reached out to Malathion. You know what I'm saying? I was told don't fuck with him. You know what I'm saying? But I give people the benefit of the doubt. I'll give you a rope to let you hang yourself when it comes to me. You know what I'm saying? So when reaching out to him, he's like, yeah, look, I can get the bag, no problem. And I explained to him, regardless of the fact I want to keep the integrity of the event, period. Keep the integrity of the event. I understand when major sponsors or major investors come in with a certain type of bag.
What does that mean in your eyes? What does keep the integrity of the event mean? Just in case anybody needs that clarity for him. Because I'm pretty sure I know what you mean.
What the event was set out to be is what I wanted it to be. It was a West Coast thing. It's with West Coast artists. It's with this. It's with that. And everything they agreed upon when the money was talked about, and I explained to Malathion, yo, this is what it is. Please keep the integrity of the event. I'm going to let you handle the money talks with your people because they are your people. But explain to them this is what I expect. You know what I'm saying? Either we're going to work together or we're not. You know what I'm saying? And I was very blunt.
So when you say the integrity of the event, you mean basically like you want to keep the branding consistent. It's the brand that you created. Like this is your vision.
What they were doing was they literally was trying to change the entire event. They tried to throw it in fucking Bakersfield where nobody lives, nobody travels. When the last time you been to fucking Bakersfield? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They took it away from a good area to put it in Bakersfield. That was strike one. Strike two, they said they will no longer sell tickets. They don't want to sell tickets. They want it to be a private event. That was strike two. Strike three was their pay-per-view. They wanted to run through their Twitch account. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to bring in all the sponsors, all this, that, and the third. Literally, every bit of the money was going to them. Nothing was coming to the artist. Nothing was coming to the brand. Nothing. They found a way to make it work for them. And I explained to Malathion, yo, I'm not cool with this. You know what I'm saying? This isn't what we agreed upon. So now when it's time for the money to be dispersed.
Even if these people are putting up the funds to basically fund the entire event, because essentially as of that point there is no secured funding. Not saying that there wasn't discussions and there's not opportunities for sponsorship, but there was no secured funding up until that point. Even them going in and funding the event, you still like, nah, like that ain't cool.
No, not because of what they wanted to do. Because of what they wanted to do. They wanted to take Diz and Math in the Geechee fight, and that was it. They wanted to throw everybody else under the bus. That's not what I'm prepared to do. Now, when I've been working on this with everybody from the West, and then all of a sudden nobody's from the West is going to be on it.
Who else from the West was going to be on the card again? Just to refresh.
It's a bunch of people, a bunch of West Coast artists. Dev the Demon, fucking Vice Versa, Amil, fucking a bunch of people, SO Finesse, you know what I'm saying? A bunch of West Coast people were, on this card, and by motherfuckers saying like, yo, well, we only want this and we're only going to pay for this, y'all can throw this event on your own time. It lets me know that they wasn't in it for throwing the event. They wanted to make the money for themselves, which I get it.
And that tends to happen when there's like, when you're talking to people that are putting up exuberant funds of money, talking 5-6 figures, and beyond of money, like their intentions are not necessarily always for the culture 90% of the time.
No, definitely. I definitely understand that, and it's respect. I respect it, but at the same time, this vision can't be tainted by the people with the bag, because they don't give a fuck about the culture. So they're only going to go for what's going to help their pockets. And this is what I explained to Malathion. This is what I explained to him. You know what I'm saying?
I gotta say, dude, I'm really impressed. That's just like the smartest, this is like the smartest Mission Impossible, like escape hatch that I've ever seen in my entire life, bro. Well fucking played, bro. Like you're a fucking smart cat, dude. You're a sharp dude.
I mean,
bro. You're a sharp dude, bro. Here's you.
Everything's in writing on what I told Malathion. Everything's in writing in what I told him, and what I wanted to, and what I was willing to change. I was willing to change some things to make it happen for them.
Well, yeah, this is, and my whole thing, what I was explaining on the live is that, and you can confirm this, like the basis of our conversation, all I was really trying to do, I wasn't like trying to fucking stick my dick on the event or anything like that. I wasn't like, yeah, hosted by Lush One with my fucking
right, correct.
No, I wasn't even saying nothing. All I was trying to do was help you understand basic things of organizing events of this caliber and this size.
Correct.
That's what I was doing, right? That's all that I did.
No, correct. I had no problem with what you were doing. I had a problem with the phone call that I received from the aftermath of what was going on. That's where my problem lied.
And my thing was this, like I did feel like I was kind of put in a bad position based on the fact that Diz is such a close friend of mine, and I'm knowing that the money that he was expecting wasn't en route. And I wasn't finna say nothing because I wasn't trying to blow up your spot. You feel me? Because you my partner.
Right.
Too.
Now the whole thing with Diz and Math is that they know every step of the way of what the fuck was going on. every
But
step
then
of the
you
way.
gotta understand, like
Nobody was left in the dark. No
on some
one
real
was
shit.
left in the dark. Go ahead, I'm listening.
Malathion was my bad to cut you off. Malathion was only making those calls because was blowing up his spot, like blowing up his line, like yo, what's up, da, 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 da. And like low key creating, like just trying to get to the bottom of the situation. You feel me? Like, and like, you know, things aren't really adding up in his head, so he's just trying to make it make sense and talking to who he's got to talk to, and you know what I mean? Like that's all, because he's just trying to get paid, because this is how he.
Right. No, I respect that. And me and Diz had this conversation. That's why we agreed upon every battler that's fighting on this card agreed upon the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody agreed upon it. So it's no throwing six under the bus because of this, that, and the third, because everyone agreed upon it. We had a mission to make happen. The mission didn't go as planned. So then we had to, rewind some shit and reevaluate some shit. And that's when Malathion was brought into the mix.
Right.
Everything was already in agreement before he was brought into the mix.
I think that there is also an element, and I'm saying this with all due respect, because I see, like I said before, earlier in the live, before you was even on here, that I see a lot of myself in you as far as your ambition and you having the good intentions and like, and your goals and like shit for them. I really think that you don't have any, you don't have any bad blood whatsoever. Like, you trying to make shit happen and have nothing but like your heart in the right place. Although I do think that there might have been certain situations where there was confusion between what you thought was agreed upon and what the battlers thought was agreed upon.
No, it is. I didn't leave room for that. That's why contracts and everything was brought up and everything. That's why I have everything in writing, bro. Everything is in writing.
That's the
From
thing. I don't want.
this, from math.
I'm not finna look. I'm not like. I feel. I'm just gonna say this, just as my integrity as a man. Like, I'm not finna put you on blast or say anything to disparage or like, you know, like argue or go back and forth in that regard. Although, I understand differently. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to like get too specific. You feel me? Like, I'm not.
No, I get you. I get you.
I ain't trying to pick on you or nothing. You feel me?
No, I'm transparent as fuck, bro. Anything you ever want to ask me, you can ask me in front of anybody because I'm transparent.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I have paperwork on everything I'm saying. So that's why I can say it with a smile on my face and confidence behind it. Because I have paperwork following everything that I spoke upon. Everything.
Well, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna call you a liar. You feel me? Like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I got the paperwork. I got the receipts. I mean, anybody can say lie, whatever, but I have the receipts. It's a difference when we can say, yo, I said this, but when I can show you, hey, no, this was said, this was agreed upon. It's a difference.
So what you saying is then everything was straight until Malathion talked to Diz, and that changed the dynamic. It had nothing to do with there was
everything. How we decided to do it was with Math and Diz. They, you know what I'm saying? We all decided as a unit that we were going to open up the ticket sales. They were going to promote. They were going to do this. We were going to go off ticket sales. That we were going to. That's what the first and that's what the agreement was upon us. We were going to go off ticket sales. Once ticket sales didn't go exactly how I planned it to go right at that moment, I said, yo, we have to find an investor. So that's when Malathion came into play. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'll say as a man, I reached out to Malathion. Well, Malathion hit me up on a post talking about it, and then we talked about it, and then it went from there. You know what I'm saying? But once I told Malathion what I was expecting, I get who's ever bringing the bag, I get it. I completely understand it. That's why I let him know from the beginning, you know, if they're not with this vision of mine, then I completely understand. You know what I'm saying? And then it's no, it's cool. They fucking with it. They like the idea. They love it, but they might just want to change, you know, like one or two things. All right, cool. Well, what are we talking about changing? Well, they might want to do the venue at their spot. When the fuck is they spot at? In Bakersfield. God damn, bro. Nobody lives there. Nobody goes to Bakersfield. Okay, so Fuck it, I'm willing to do this. Fuck it, let's make it happen. We'll make it fucking happen. Oh, well, we're not going to sell tickets, bro. We're going to open up, we're going to run 2-3 events at that event while this is happening. That way we can bring people from there. Like, come on, bro, this is not what we agreed upon.
And the thing is this, like when you're dealing with people with money, like you have to find out creative ways that are going to benefit them in order to get them to want to put up the paper. So if they happen to like, and that's just like, you know, I'll just use as an example, like Alki David, like working with his crazy ass. Like I talked to you about, like one of the companies he owned was Hologram USA, which does like holograms of, you know, I did the Tupac hologram and shit like that, right? So he wanted to showcase that technology. So when we did the Cassidy versus Disaster press conference, we had Cassidy appear via hologram. You know what I'm saying? Like, which like was corny as fuck, but we had to do that because he wanted that shit.
Right,
and, like,
right.
He's putting up all the racks, so that's why, like, you know.
Right. No, I get that. I get that. When you're the major investor, you have that control over what you want to put your money into. I get it. I get it. But me, the one having the idea, I have the control whether or not to say, yo, I want to allow you to literally change my entire vision just so I can use your money. Or I can say, yo, I can find this somewhere else, which pretty much is what happened. You know, to all those who are in questioning or inquiring about what the fuck is going on, Battle Rap Boxing is moving. We are dropping the next trailer coming up very soon. Everything will be taken care of. The boxers will be announcing some of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we're going to take care of everybody. I'm going to make sure the shit gets taken care of. But one thing I'm not going to do is allow anyone to damage the integrity of what I'm trying to build here. I can't allow it.
I respect that. Reese made a really smart point earlier, saying that it, you know, should have just kept it local and for the West and smaller. And like, I kind of like, you know, not to stick my 2 cents in or whatever, but just since we talking about it, like it would make sense. Like, why put so much pressure on yourself out the gate?
Correct.
You know
that's
like,
the whole thing. That's the whole thing, bro. I literally
we want to see fades anyway. Like we don't give a fuck. Full. Everybody seen grainy ass cell phone footage of Billy and Saint mixing it up. You feel me? Motherfuckers will watch anybody from the fight that want to fight. You ain't gotta, you know, book motherfucking Eminem versus MGK for your first battle, whatever. You feel me? Like
right. No, I get that. I get that. And this is why the Math and Diz fight was brought up. They reached out to me.
Right.
They wanted to do it. Math wanted to do it. You know what I'm saying? And once they reached out to me, I'm like, yeah, you know what? We can do this. We can make it happen. Let's make it happen. And then we start, you know what I'm saying, fooling around, start talking about different shit, figuring out ways to make shit happen. And once Math released it, it was like, all right, fuck, it's full-fledged a go now. Because Math released the trailer. It was like, fuck, it's just a go now. There's no taking it, you know what I'm saying, in stride. It's you have to fucking go. And that's where we at now, to where it has to go. We have to have a lane, and that's what I'm trying to do. And that's what I'm going to do.
No offense to the homies, Math and Diz and everybody else, but fools are like very, very arrogant to think that like the star power of their name's gonna be just demanding such an insane amount of just like purchases out the gate. Like that ain't the way it worked. Like
right. And I understand that. And this was a concern that you know we've talked about. You know, closer to the event, ticket sales are just gonna just fucking go out the roof. Closer to the event. We're here 3 months away from the event. You know what I'm saying?
This is true.
But
most
but
ticket
with
sales
boxing,
that's a fact.
Yeah, it usually sells the day of the event, as far as pay-per-view goes.
For sure.
The day of the event. Oh shit, it's actually happened. Let me purchase it. That's how it happens. I get that. I understand that. I'm not naive to that. You know what I'm saying? And this is why we've had this conversation. This is why I had these conversations with these gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? Yo, we can succeed extremely fast, or it can take a moment. But the thing is that it's going to happen. So this is why we had that agreement. You know what I'm saying? But once it was, yo, we can actually find this fucking bag, and Malathion was like, yo, we can find this bag, and I wasted a whole month of my fucking time. You get what I'm saying? It's a bump in the road. It's a fence that I got to jump over.
And I think why Malathion got frustrated, not to speak on his behalf, but just because he is the homie, and like, you know, and I want everybody to be cool, and I know that he fuck with you beyond all this, is that he went and spoke up on your word, saying that you needed a certain amount of money, when we later discovered that what was needed was going to be way bigger than that. You feel me? And I think that's why he was like, well, fuck it, I gotta make this.
No, the thing was, Malathion was trying to get the entire bag, and I told him from the jump, I just need the deposits. That's where that number came from. We didn't have a full understanding of what the fuck was being asked of us. And when I tried to get that understanding with him, he just like, oh man, come on, man, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I'm like, bro, you gotta listen to me. And like, a major part of this is active listening. It's active listening, because one word can be mistaken, and now we have a fucking clusterfuck of bullshit going on, which is what happened. You know what I'm saying? I never told him I needed 100,000. He asked me, what does this event cost? This is the number that it costs. This is what I need. From me just adding up the numbers, you're right. You did never say you needed that. That is 100% true. I agree with you. But from my calculations, based on that conversation that the three of us had, you did need comparable numbers of that. You feel me? In my opinion. You feel me? Like, yeah, the only reason, now I can understand why he would try to go get the whole bag. Don't fight off the back end. Don't fight off this, that, and the third. I get it. Yeah. I understand. That's why. Trying to make it so you don't have a hairline that looks like mine. You feel me? Exactly. It's already there, bro. I'm getting old, man. But that's what we was trying to avoid, and I respected that. That's why I said, yo, if you can get it, cool. But this is what we need. This is what we need. Like, and if you asking somebody to put up that much dough, and then for somehow it turns out not being enough, and there's no security that it's gonna be enough, and then they wind up with that money in the wind and completely losing their ass, like, it could, you know, like, most people with sound business minds are not going to even pursue that. So that's why I think Malik got frustrated and shit. You feel me? Like, right, but that's when you talk in business, bro, you can't get frustrated. Numbers aren't always going to match up. That's why you're talking business. If it was that easy, we all would be fucking rich from the beginning. Facts. You know what I'm saying? That's why you have these moments to where you have to talk about these things. You have to discuss these things. You have to get clarity on these things. And he wasn't willing to get clarity. And that was my whole thing. You feel me? And I'm like, yo, I'm not going to sit here and go back and forth with you in an argument when we're talking business. No, it makes perfect sense, bro. But Diesel made a point that I completely agree with. To be honest with you, Diesel said, "Nah, bro, the numbers should always add up," and he's correct. Like, the numbers do need to add up. You feel? Yeah, me? The numbers are supposed to add up. Correct. The numbers are supposed to add up. But what I mean by business and you know, working those numbers out is what you have to do. You have to work those numbers out. They're not going to straight add up right from the jump. Right. That's why you have to be able to work through those situations and work through those numbers to get it to add up. And that's what we did. Basically, it's like to put in street terms, it's like what you basically came up in a city you never been to and found like 10 kilos of coke, but you never sold dope before and don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, and like, that's essentially what happened here. It's like completely backwards, but like, you got your finger on the pulse of something, but the logistics need to be there. And that's all I've been trying to impress upon you, is the way you. No, I get that. If you've noticed, our conversations have never went left. No, it has been, let's figure it out. Correct. Let's do this. Let's get it together. With me and Malathion conversation, it's been at each other. I can't do business with somebody that I have to talk at or they're talking at me. We have to be able to talk with each other to figure it out. Right. You know what I'm saying? So me and you, we didn't have that issue. Correct. I didn't have an issue with you before this. But when they told me, when I got the call, like, yo, shit, man, Lush and Malathion, they say they got the money for us. You know, what's up, bro? They want to book us. I'm like, yo, that's some snake shit, period.
Right.
It's snake shit. It is, no matter how any way you look at it. You know what I'm saying? It's snake shit. It's definitely snake shit. To say, yo, well, fuck it, I'ma book it. You know what I'm saying? And that's the type of energy he was giving off the entire time.
And yet, like, and so just to clarify for you, so you further know where my heart's at and everything, which I actually haven't even spoke on this live yet. When I first became aware of the fact that when Diz hit me up yesterday and was like, what's Gucci, like 65 is saying it's still going on, like I'm hearing conflicting messages, that's when I hit Mala and was like, what's up, you feel me? And at that point I just kind of took a step back from the entire situation, you know, which I was already kind of playing from afar because I wasn't solidified on any of the details enough to really feel confident in moving forward, although you know the event had my support. But when
and that's what I was trying to get you to, that's what I was trying to get you on the phone for, so we can have an understanding and you can see exactly what the fuck is going on. Right. Every message that Malathion delivered between us back and forth before we finally got to a conversation, and that conversation was fueled by a certain fucking motive of the conversation to begin with. You know what I'm saying? Certain clarity numbers should always add up in acceptable risk juice. Should equal the squeeze. If not, sometimes best to walk it than push your money pit. I hear you. You know, with the whole shit, man, like Malathion, I felt just it. We didn't have an understanding, and in that understanding, it was two heads that wasn't able to clarify a situation that needed to be clarified.
And that's why, if you remember when we was on the phone, I was like, let's take a break for a couple hours.
Yeah, and once you said that, I was like, yo, Lush has a mind to where you can actually talk. But when we can't talk, when I go to speak and then it's, bro, this, I can't work like that.
Right. No, 1,000%.
I can't.
No, I totally feel you. And and he was definitely being aggressive. And I understand where a lot of the source of his frustration. And I also understand where you're coming from as well. In the end, I just want to see everybody succeed. Also, it's important to me that my homies, people like Disaster, who I really care about, aren't being misled in any capacity. And I want the community at large to just stay with proper business etiquette and practices, so we as a coast, as a culture, can all be moving properly. You know what I'm saying? Like,
correct. And I will say how I went about wanting to do it in the beginning, which everybody agreed upon. I will say it definitely probably could have been handled better. Definitely. You know what I'm saying? But in wanting to make this happen and in getting agreements from everyone on making it happen, you know what I'm saying? I felt strong about it, shall I say.
Yeah, and it's like, and people like Geechee, I was just with Geechee a couple of days ago, and we were chopping it up about the event, and like, you know, like he was supportive of the event out the gate because he wanted to see if you could pull it off and see if he believed in you and wanted to see the West do good. And like, you know what I'm saying? He genuinely was trying to be supportive. So it's like, there were people that did want to see you win, you know what I'm saying? And do want to see you win.
Yeah. And we'll still win. We'll still win. Not a problem. That's not a problem. We'll still win.
And Diesel said it well. Diesel said it very well right here. Everyone knows that there's risk involved in investments, but there's got to be a plan in place for risk mitigation. And that's very well said.
Facts.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, so at the end of the day, I'm glad that we had this conversation. We should always, you know, like you should always know, you could always, I hope you know that you could always reach out to me, and that I always have the best intention and I don't fuck nobody over. And you know, especially in this game, I have enough negativity in my past that I've had to deal with, as to where that, you know, I only move with my integrity, you know, in God's grace, 1000%. You feel me?
No, I hear you. That's why I didn't mind reaching out to you in the first place. You have to understand. You know what I'm saying? I understand the legends in the game. I understand the people who have the power to go get certain things. I understand that. So that's why I reached out to you from the jump.
Right.
You get what I'm
You
saying?
did though. You did though.
Even before Malathion was a part of the situation,
No, it's true. It's true.
I
It's true.
reached out to you first
You did. You did.
because of a certain amount of respect I have for you.
Right.
So that's why when I got this word, I was just like, I don't know, bro. This shit just don't, it don't fit right with me.
So
Are
Diesel.
you dealing with an idea or a plan? No, at first it was an idea. I'll be all the way funky with you. At first it was an idea that blossomed extremely fast, and it happened way faster than what the fuck I ever thought it could. Once it was released, the shit zoomed past everything. My wildest imaginations. Now there's a fucking plan. Now there's a plan, and the plan is being executed. And today kind of fucked me up with my plan because you got people actually calling the fucking owner of the fucking venue, telling him that he should not allow me to do this fucking event at his venue.
So that's a whole
This is
others. That's a whole other issue then that you're dealing
this
with.
some cornball shit. It's corn shit.
Okay, that is pretty
It's
cool.
corn shit.
And
That's
that's got nothing.
cornball
That's got
shit.
nothing to do with Malathion, though, right? That's
No, that's nothing with Mal. I know that wasn't Malathion. I'm sure. I'm praying to God it wasn't Malathion
not
to
yet.
call the fucking owner of Lip Drum and tell him that yo, you shouldn't be fucking trying to do this event with this person. I'm sure it wasn't him because if it was him, only God knows how I would fucking react to that.
Yeah, and
You know what I'm saying?
I don't see him doing that. That don't
Yeah,
sound like
I didn't never put it on anyone, but
right.
it happened. So I put it out there that whoever did it, I swear to God, I hope you die tonight. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because that's some gay shit. It's cornball shit to call someone and be like, yo, you shouldn't fuck with this person. Don't let them throw their venue there. This, that, and the third. Like, that's some
Yeah,
whack
that's like
ass shit.
that's literally the equivalent of like somebody calling like some bitch they got a crush on, like, hey girl, you shouldn't talk to your man. Like he don't deserve you. He don't really love you. He be cheating.
Right.
That's like really
Right.
that's like behavior 1000%.
That's some real whole shit, bro. And whoever did it, I hope you watching this live, bro. I hope to God you have a nightmare and you wake up and you hit your head and you have a fucking aneurysm and you die within 2 days. Like, no cap. Because you don't give a fuck about me, so why should I give a fuck about you at this point? And that's how I
Aneurysm
truly feel.
and die in 2 days. It could happen.
Yeah, 48 hours. That's a total of about 48 hours after you hit your head. You know what I'm
So
saying?
So Diesel definitely seems like he's interested in hearing the plan. I think that you should definitely be tapping in with the artist. However, I could help mediate this on all perspectives. You know what I'm saying, between you and Malathion, because Malathion is not a bad dude. He's really not. You know what I mean? And he wasn't trying to snake you in any way. He was just trying to make things happen for Diz and push the line for him. So, but you know,
I
it's
get it, but in doing so, it can look terrible. Do you get what I'm saying? Because
yes,
this isn't just about Diz. It's not just about Diz. It's niggas who's been a part of this plan, a part of this goal, who's been supporting this way before Diz and Math was even thought of.
right.
So and that's why I didn't allow the investor that he brung to give me that money, because I'm not going to destroy the integrity of the event, and I'm also not going to push the people who's been supporting this away. I'm not, bro. I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? I would rather it not happen than to throw 2 fights on a fucking card with people who had nothing to do with nothing, who don't give a fuck about the West. Diz is the only person, and Geechee was the only motherfuckers that they was talking about bringing from the West.
Right.
Like, no, I don't feel that's a good move. I don't
And
feel it's a good
I
move.
think at the same, they're just trying to preserve. Like that's why there needs to be people. There needs to be people that can help mediate the situation. Like and I'm not saying like someone like me that can help understand your perspective and your brand's perspective and what the investors' needs are, and try to find a middle ground between all that. You feel me?
All right, Jovan, I'll call you, bro. I'll call you, Diesel. I've been transparent with everybody this entire time. That's why I'm like, the whole narrative today is kind of is kind of, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, come on, bro. I've been transparent with everybody. Anybody who's ever had anything to ask me, I've answered via inbox, live, post, whatever. I'm very transparent.
So
You know
how
what I'm
you feel
saying?
about the whole Piper Boy thing?
Piper Boy's mad because I refused to pay him $15,000, bro.
Yeah, that's a bit excessive. You know what I mean? Like, I personally feel like a lot of the figures that people were throwing around were all excessive. You know what I mean? Like, so, but yeah.
I refused to pay Piper Boy $15,000, bro. That's why he was mad, because I told him, bro, you're not worth 15 bands. You're not. I'm sorry. You're not. I refuse to give you $15,000, and you ain't even fought the nigga that fucked your baby mama, that fucked your wife. Like, I can't do that. I
Right.
can't. And he didn't take kind to that, so he decided to make a blog. But like I said, bro, until you go fight the nigga that fucked your wife and put her all on the internet for battle rappers to see, and he's a battle rap nigga and he still battles, until you do that, I don't feel like you can ask me for 15 bands.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, you know, at the end of the day, like, is at the end of the day, all that aside, like, as long as y'all didn't have an agreement that is being gone against, then I understand, you know, you're totally entitled to feel that way, and you don't have to pay nobody nothing. But
Yeah,
if
we
you,
didn't never have an agreement upon nothing. The only thing me and Piper Boy talked about was because he was supposed to fight Hitman, and Hitman agreed, yo, let's drop the footage, you know what I'm saying? Let's drop the trailers, let's do this, let's promote, you know what I'm saying? And you know, we can make this off the back end, da 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 da. This was another motherfucker, another person who agreed upon what we agreed upon to get paid off the back end.
right,
Everybody was agreeing upon the same shit. You feel me? So once me and Hitman talked, I explained to Hitman, like, yo, I don't feel I should be paying Piper Boy 15 bands for anything. He's
right,
like, wait, he wanted 15 bands, my nigga. I'm like, yeah, bro. Like, he's not worth 15 bands. He's like, oh no, bro. Like, nah, don't worry about that. I got plenty of people who want to fight. Then that's when Arsenal and Murder Mook and all them niggas start calling me. You know what I'm
right.
saying? Like if I'm going to pay somebody and try to find a big enough bag, I'm going to pay somebody that makes sense, not Piper Boy.
And that
Piper Boy
doesn't,
does
I
not
mean,
get
and that
15,000.
and that definitely don't benefit the West in any way whatsoever. That's got nothing to
Not
do.
at all. Not at fucking all. You know what I'm saying? Like, not at all. So that's where the whole blog today came from. And just, oh yeah, I called the venue. The venue said they don't know nothing about nothing. And that, like, man, look, bro, you're just lying for views right now. You know what I'm saying? Because you're mad at the fact that I told you I won't give you $15,000 unless you fight the nigga that fucks your baby, your wife. He didn't like that, so he did a blog. I flat out told him, bro, I'm not giving you 15,000 unless you go fight the nigga that fucked your wife and made a video of it.
That's wild.
You know what I'm saying? And he didn't like that. When I said that, he stopped responding. Next thing you know, I'm getting calls. Yo, this fool Piper Boy is talking about you. Da 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 da. He's angry. He can talk about me all he wants. All he can do is give me free promotion at this point. Because if it
Well, yeah,
happens,
and to be and not to take sides, but his name was not even really mentioned when we had discussions on the phone when you and I.
no,
He wasn't
it
even
wasn't.
part of this.
It wasn't. And, you know what I'm saying? And this is, and like I said, I'm very transparent. So I told him this. Yo, you're not important. You're the least important person on this card. You're the only person that's not a battler. And you're asking for what more than everybody's getting paid damn near.
Yeah, I mean, if Keegan makes a point, he said Piper Boy called the venue and told them not to work with you, then, like, so basically, one would assume that if Piper Boy is contacting the venue in any capacity, that if there's negative things happening, that it might be stemming from him in
Correct.
some way.
And that's in saying that, I'm thinking that's where that shit came from.
And I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist or accuse people of anything. It just kind of makes
No,
sense.
1 + 1 = 2 every time.
Yeah, that's it.
You know what I'm
So
saying? And that's whole shit. Like shit like that is whole shit. You know what I'm
and
saying?
really, at the end of the day, I just want it to be known that I had nothing but good intentions. I appreciate you being a man and just, what I'm saying, because I apologizing and all that, and I had no in ill will or intention towards you whatsoever. I still fuck with you. I still want to see this work. I understand why Malathion got frustrated, but I just feel like it's a deviation of communication. I would like to see it fixed. Mark my words, y'all really got to get your budget figured out, where it's coming from, what it is, who's involved, etc. And if I can give any advice, it's not just to you, but to anybody that throws events, one final time, do not rely on any type of door money to be supplementing any of the income. You got to have all that shit figured out. And the door is what's going to pay for either your next event or your new pair of fucking Giuseppe's you finna be wearing, or your fucking, braces for your daughter, or whatever. You feel me? But that shit.
Nah, I feel you. I feel that, and that's sound advice. That is definitely good advice. I definitely would agree to that. Um, you know, is there a set budget? Yes, there is a set budget. Is the budget complete? No. Um, are we working on it? Yes. Like I said, for those who didn't catch that or didn't understand, but yeah, we've had literally the money was right here, but the terms just didn't match up. So therefore, we wasted an ample amount of time with a certain someone, you know what I'm saying, as far as investment goes. So we wasted a certain amount of time. So now, we're back into the works. So I'm working, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
I'm
at
in the
least
midst.
being honest, and I commend the honesty. And people, like, at the end of the day, like, you know what I mean? Like, it seems like you have the community behind you. People do want to see you win. People are willing to work with you. They just need you to be like you're being right now and taking
Yeah,
accountability, being honest. You feel me?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. And this, anybody who's dealing with me, anybody who's dealt with me will tell you, can attest to that this is how I've been the entire time. That's why I'm like, anything that's this exposed shit like that means nothing to me, because I've been transparent this entire time. I've been answering questions for the past fucking month and a half. You know what I'm saying? So I'm extremely transparent. I have no problem with it letting y'all know what the fuck is going on. You know what I'm saying? Certain things ain't for everybody to know. So that's why you don't get certain responses from me on certain shit. You know what I'm
mhm.
saying? To certain people. But my inbox is always open.
And also know that you don't have to, like, there's nothing wrong with telling people you don't know yet, or I'm figuring that out. You don't have to have an answer for every question. You feel me?
Facts.
And I know that, like you remind me of myself, like I said, like you're a people pleaser. You want to tell people what they want to hear. You want to help people with their problems. You want to be a reliable person but at the same time, it's like, if you say that you know something when you really don't, you actually misleading them. You feel me? And you're doing them more harm
Correct.
than good without even intending to. You know what I mean? Like,
Correct.
and I think that I honestly, I feel like as long as you keep the same mindset you got now, moving forward, this can turn around and turn out to be what you want it to be. I think that just everything needs to be above board and honest, and you don't need to. That doesn't mean the public needs to know everything whatsoever. You feel
Correct.
me? But just between your business partners and the people that you're working with, like, motherfuckers need to know what's cracking, or else that's when they start tripping. That's when people start talking. That's when the tweets start popping up, and that's when.
Right. That's why we gotta have clarification, and that's why I said Malathion didn't want to clarify shit before a nigga jumped out the window. Clarify with me. My phone. He has my phone number. He has my Facebook. He has my Instagram. I have ample amount of ways to be contacted.
And
Any
the thing is,
questions or any
Malathion,
discrepancies anybody have,
right?
contact me.
No,
Don't. It's not for a public. At that point when you're doing shit for the public, it seems that you're clout chasing or you're doing it for likes and shit of that nature, when you easily have contact on me. to talk about any discrepancies you have within the
Yes.
situation.
Yes, I did say that, Marnez. I said the event was the equivalent of Tekashi 6ix9ine. It's true. And and what I said that and what I meant by that was that it seemed like people were just so caught up in the spectacle and the excitement of it happening that they didn't really care to examine the details. And that's the comparison that I made. You feel me? Like, and before, and that's, you know what I'm saying? So I did say that, and I still stand by that statement. And that's not even a diss, it's a fact. It's people are here for the fuckery. That's why things like boxing in the context of battle rap exists. That's why people want to see fights in battle rap. That's why people want to see lives of people getting dragged. That's why more people want to see, you know what I'm saying, like people arguing with each other than building with each other. They want to see motherfuckers making diss tracks instead of collaborating.
The world feeds off negativity.
That's it. You feel me?
The world feeds off negativity. So that's why when, you know, the blog was out, I expected all of this shit. I expected the extras. The world thrives off negativity. It's people on the West that's been waiting for this moment just so they can have a reason to go live and talk. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, December is still 3 months out. I still have ample amount of time to do this and make everything happen and to make things the way it should be. So
No, you
that's why
do.
I'm like, when people are jumping out the window so early, it just shows me how people are. And I laughed at it. You know what I'm saying? I
And
can
that's
laugh at it. I can
understandable.
truly laugh at it.
And on some shit like Marnez, I know he playing, but I want him to understand. I want everyone to understand what I was saying earlier was in response to being called a snake and not hearing what 65 was going to respond to that. So that's me responding to that statement, and then once he broke things down to me and we got on a different level, then of course I'm gonna look at that situation differently. You have to that's like literally, Marnez, I appreciate you saying that, because what you're doing is literally proving what I just said a second ago. People just want the fuck shit. People want there to be divisive energy. They want negativity.
They would
That's
have
it.
loved if we'd have been on this live going at each other's throat. Fuck you, punk ass motherfucker, this, that, and the
Exactly.
third. They would have loved it. You know what I'm saying? But if it's an intelligent conversation being had, there's some actual intellect, people don't give a fuck.
No, it's true. It's true.
You know what I'm saying?
They know.
So
They know.
I don't care about the negativity. I'm going to make this happen regardless of who's fucking with me and who's not, because this is my goal. I complete my goals. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to make this happen regardless of who's fucking with me or not. Because like I said, it started as a West Coast thing. It will end as a West Coast thing. I thought an event with straight all West Coast artists and not give a fuck about anything else. Because that's what it was intended to. It was intended to be for the West. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The West is for the culture. I get it. But it was intended for the West. It was intended for the drama that we have on the West. Once Math and Diz got involved, it became a national thing. It became a battle rap, global battle rap thing. And I love it. Don't get me wrong. I think it's dope. And I actually like the challenge. But at the end of the day, motherfuckers got to be willing to even give me a shot. Not jump straight out the fucking window as soon as
Well,
you
that's
see
the
an
thing.
opening to the window.
Well, here's the thing, dude. Like, I want to give you a shot, and I want to give you a shot with an open lane. You feel me? Like, I want to make sure that you're not guarded by six motherfuckers. Like, you like the reason why Malathion reacted the way he did on the phone and couldn't even like verbalize to you the extent of how frustrated he was is because he is somebody that's been through a lot of, he's firsthand witness events fall apart. He's been a part of some very successful things, and he's seen crazy shit happen as well. And what he saw from you in that moment, and just the the fact there wasn't a solidified budget, it seemed like, and there was being different answers being told to different people, he got frustrated to the point where he just, you know what I'm saying, and like you said earlier, I agree, like the people need to be level-headed, but like just know that he's seeing you not getting that clear shot. He's seeing the obstacles right in your face that you might not even be aware of, because he has that perspective. So he's just not saying it to you the same way I am. You feel me?
I respect, and this was a conversation that me and Malathion had, bro. You know what I'm saying? I respect, you know what I'm saying, his views on it. I respected his discrepancies on it. That's why I said, yo, we can talk and hash it out and figure this shit out. But once it became, yo, this is what they want, period. If it ain't that, then we ain't fucking with you. You ain't got no event, this, that. Look, bro, we can't move forward now. Because right now, the energy is off. The energy is way off. You know what I'm saying? The energy is
Right.
completely off. So until we can get the energy back the correct way, it's best we stay away from each other.
Right. Well, at this point, it seems like the battlers or the fighters in this instance, they just want an event. You feel me? They just want it to crack off. Obviously, it's your idea. Obviously, this is your concept. But motherfuckers just want that shit to happen however it's gonna happen. So everyone needs to get on
Right.
the same page. Really, all I want to do is just help mediate and help people get on the same level. I ain't trying to do nothing else. This is you know what I mean, it's already pretty fucking messy as far as the cooks in the fucking kitchen go. I'm not trying to be another cook in the kitchen.
That's facts. It is messy as fuck in the kitchen, but it is still possible to
Right.
deliver a gourmet dish. Even though it's
Well
messy in the
played.
kitchen and the chefs are beefing and motherfuckers is in the kitchen throwing plates and slapping each other with peppers and shit, there's still a chance to throw a gourmet fucking plate out there for everybody to eat. There's still that opportunity. And I am all for you have to, like, bro, when I hit you first, it's because of the respect that I have for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's because of the respect I have for, you know, for your brand and what you've created in this lane. You know what I'm saying? Before I came into this game, nigga, I watched you. I watched the West before I came here. So I have a certain amount of respect for you. You know what I'm saying? Just like Malathion. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just like Malathion. I
And
told him,
Mallow's in
I
here
have
right
this
now.
respect for y'all niggas. You know what I'm saying? But things have to be the correct way. Things got to be in order the right way. It has to be correctly. You know what I'm saying? So,
No, it definitely do. It
you know,
definitely do. And
Diesel, hit my line. I'm about to smoke and get high, figure some shit out. Fuck with y'all niggas later.
all right, be smooth, my guy.
What's up, fool?
All right, Mala, you in here. You want me to? I'm gonna add you, dog. Yeah, this whole thing. I tried to add this fool Mala. You know how I do, Spec. Come on, baby. I'm trying to add you right now, folk. Can we keep it a stack? No, we can't. I wish this was like Tiny Chat, huh? Okay, I'm trying to add you, Mala. It says you declining, folks. I tried to add you twice now. It says you decline. I don't know why Mala shit ain't. Mala got that motherfucking. You on that motherfucking
What up?
Saturn, folks. You on,
I could barely hear you.
you on that Sinaloa Wi-Fi?
Nah, nah, nah. I'm on that low Wi-Fi, man. You know, I'm out here in the trap. You know,
Big,
right here
big
with my
stress.
hitters.
upon the spec and the function. But yeah, so did you hear, bro, at all?
Camera's breaking up. Well, the connection was fucked up. Well, let me go hop in the car over here so I can hear you.
What? What? He's telling? I'm out of here.
So it's good.
Did you hear this? Did you hear what 65 was saying or what?
No, I got in late. I was driving somewhere. By the time I got there, I heard at the end what he was saying, but I kind of got there a little late.
So what are your thoughts, man?
I'm just trying to help. I was just trying to really help this fool get a bag, and you know, I brought a legit sponsor in, or not even a sponsor, an investor, someone willing to help him out with his business structure and stuff, because his business structure wasn't good, you know. So I try to bring in someone to help him with that, and make it more realistic for these fights to go down, because there's a lot of shit, like as far as like the, you know, getting sanctioned by the state so they don't shut shit down and all that. So with all that, you know, it was just hard to lock it in with his company, because the company they were trying to come with wasn't legitimate, and the guys that I was bringing were official guys, and they pretty much weren't trying to handle business with someone that didn't have business like that, but they were still willing to go forward with it. So with all that being said, you know, with him pretty much coming out and calling me a rat and a snake and all this shit or whatever the fuck he was saying, I didn't do anything snaky. I told him exactly what it was. That disaster and math, they were both depending on this money. So when I got that sponsor, you know, not that sponsor, but that investor, whatever you want to call it, I told him the situation, and he said, "Fuck it. If Diz and Math are still willing to do it, I'll put up the bag for it." Because according to them, they hadn't gotten their deposits yet. So to them, they're looking at it as like the verbal contract has been void, or maybe the written contract. I don't know if they had contracts. But I'm down to work some shit out. I'm not trying to start no problems, you know. I just wanted that shit to go down. Flyers are out, video trailers are out. Um, it's nothing fake, you know. So the shit that he put out as far as the whole card, that would have been so expensive, and it was a bunch of shit that, you know, it could have been
Yeah,
like
it's hard.
I don't know.
I tried to explain it in as many ways as possible to him that what his expectations are of the finances are a bit unrealistic, and I think he kind of understands that a little more so now. But
Well,
I don't know.
I want to make it go
I don't know
down.
if he intrinsically understands it.
No, he doesn't, because I was trying to explain it to him that this is a part, a certain tier of the battle rap game where you got to have that bread. Like, you can't call them and wait a week to get that bread. Like, you got to get that bread a day, 2 days after, or else people are gonna start. You know, it doesn't look right. It's not like you're dealing with things he was used to. So I said, you know, even though the shit's all fucked up, my guy's willing to do it. He's willing to do it under his company. You guys got to jump on. And I didn't think they understood that. So, you know, it's a big grab, and to find someone willing to put up that much amount of money and it makes sense to them, and they're bringing in, you know, big time investors, and they're bringing in professional fighters to talk. I'm like, damn, these fools are serious. So that's why I told 65 of them and said, hey, if you guys don't get that bag, I'm gonna fucking go hit them up for it. And if you become humble enough and stop trying to be about some shit, hop on over here, and you're not we're not gonna cut you out. But when he started going crazy and shit, it turned pretty bad, you know.
Verbal agreements are, for all intents and purposes, useless. Unfortunately, you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah, and I was
there's
tripping
no
that they were
security in
even,
that.
and I was just tripping that even that battlers at you know, at that level were willing to go off of that, you know. And so I was trying to really help him,
Fucking
but it was
absolutely.
more just about him. You feel me?
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean,
What are you thinking right now?
I mean, to be honest, like I said, like the situation seems to already be so messy with all the people that are involved cooking that I wouldn't necessarily want to uh, jump in the midst of all those tumultuous dynamics. Although I would try to serve as a mediator and get everybody on the same page to at least let people know what realistically needs to happen, from the investors, from the organizers to the battlers, because I don't think anybody is on sees on the same plane. I know you and I do, and I know that I could see from other people's perspectives, but I think that really what it comes down to, people are not on the same level of understanding here.
So people are still want this to go down. Like I'm seeing, like I'm like my guy's down to pick it up. It was pretty much like I didn't want to step on 65's toes, but at the same time I known this, like we've known disaster for years already. So it's not like and I understand how serious he gets with the money. Like it's a serious shit. So I was like, bro, if you ain't gonna make this happen, I'm gonna holler at them, and then I can snap that card in half and get it taken care of to where your name's not fucked up, dude. Because when that whole guys versus girls card did go down, that shit had me in fucking tears, bro. That shit fucked me up. And I explained it to him, there's certain things that have to be done, and I have horrible PTSD when it comes to that. So
Right.
these
That's kind of what I
are
was
both.
trying to explain to him too. Like, motherfuckers have seen what it looks like when these events don't go right, and we've tried to tell the people that are in positions of power how to properly allocate their funds and when to do it, and how the nature of our culture and the way that interacts on a business perspective as well. And they never are trying to hear it.
But I was actually being super transparent. I was being super transparent with him. I wanted him to be super transparent with us. And when Lush hopped on, that's when he would it was more just like trying to figure out where it was at. And then I ended up finding out the whole shit. And it was like, oh damn, like there is no money involved. That's why I was telling him, like, please, I was begging him, please, like that, please, 65, take the fucking offer, dude. Take it. Like, who
Yeah,
cares about battle?
because like if I admire 65's tenacity. I don't know what you want to call it, but because if I was him, I would have instantly just been like, yes. I would have said exactly what I needed, what I owed. I would be like, yeah, do whatever you want. Just make it so I don't owe a bunch of people money.
You were on the phone when I barely first was finding out, and I was getting a little irritated, and you had to be like, look, we're gonna talk tomorrow, because I was getting, I didn't. He asked me for 60,000. I was able to get it, and then I find out, and then you got on the phone, and then you were like, well, what about plane tickets, and what about this, and what about that?
I realized it was over, like that the cost was going to be double that 60 grand that he was talking about, just to cover basic costs. You feel me? Like,
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I see Diesel on there asking if he's gonna stow me the card. If you're gonna still be on the card, I definitely want to try to get everybody on. I want to try to make it as what it was as possible. But when I was first discussing this, it was what 65 wanted, and then it turned into something that couldn't be done because he didn't have all the right licensing. And then when I brought it to, the guys didn't want to spend the budget. Like, we hadn't talked to Diesel, I hadn't talked to anybody.
That's what people are going to do. That's what anyone that's a businessman is going to do when they're being brought into a situation and there's way more overhead than they're expecting. They're going to start cutting costs. They're going to start seeing what they can, you know what I mean? That's just naturally going to be the first investment.
Well, what it is like the agreements that he made was kind of unrealistic to try to take over. So like now the sponsorships, those things are getting played out. Like by Monday, they should things are rolling out for the Diz and Mass situation, and once they get taken care of, then we want to rebuild the card, and there's going to be actual I don't know I should be saying this, but there should be actual fighters, like MMA, like they want to take it in MMA type shit, and they probably want to get actual fighters on there. People have to get registered to fight. So like I think that costs like a rack to do, and they're not. You guys are gonna be doing amateur, but you guys don't have to wear I think you might have to wear headgear. They were saying there's ways to do a professional and amateur, but this guy that we're talking to is the guy that we're trying to facilitate it and make it work. And if you guys
from my understanding, Diesel, they weren't trying to kick nobody off the card. It was more they were trying to slash the budget. It wasn't about kicking people off the card. They're trying.
We hadn't talked to anybody and didn't know anybody's numbers. And then those were all people 65 talked to, so I didn't want to hit anybody up and say, man, fuck you, man, I ain't fucking, you know what I'm saying?
And motherfuckers are hearing different numbers than what we're hearing. Everybody's got a different number. We're hearing from Diz something different than we're hearing, like, so it's like it's very confusing. All I want to do at this point is help mediate it, get everyone on the same page, and that's it.
Well, I want it to go down. If 65 can't make it happen, I possibly can. Whoever was on the card, holler at me. You know, and then we could try to work something out. But right now, like that the contracts never went. Like everything was kind of voided, and it's just sitting there. And I'm surprised that everyone has been quiet this long and not said nothing.
I'm
you know?
honestly I'm very surprised too.
I'm tripping, dude. And
if,
like
if this was like if I had done this to someone, I would be getting dragged.
Yeah, man. Like and you know what? Like that's why I'm trying to handle it this way, and I'm putting, you know, professional people involved, and we're bringing on professionals because once you sanction it a certain way, then you can holler at big sponsors, and that's like the homie's good at that shit. So he's already hollering at people. So I'm like, fuck it. You know, I want to make this go down. So I mean, like, shit, you know, and then I mean, what do you think? Should that card be rebuilt? Because I know he was hollering at Piper Boy, who wanted 10K. Like that fool made a vlog said he wanted 10K, and then you got Hitman Holla. Like for that card to go down, like I can get those things to go down, but as far as like it's just so crazy. This shit was just so fucking crazy, dude. Like
I just think there needs to be an understanding of like how people are moving, and if there's a way for people to all move in unison, or if this is now a whole other event being created. You feel me?
Well, at first they didn't want it to go down in Bakersfield, but I said this is a legit place. Like all your licensing, everything's gonna be taken care of. You're not gonna have to worry about anything. And then the other parts that are gonna be fucking you know, there's gonna be another company streaming it. We can get Avocado to do stuff. But I was trying to really work with them, but it was more moved that they didn't want to move it to another location. It was just small things. And then he made a big deal about Jack Rabbit being promoted on the fucking flyer. And I'm like, dude, like we can talk about it with them, but I'm not gonna make it an issue. And if I bring you on the phone with them, I don't want you to make it an issue too. You talk one time and then maybe later on, but we're not gonna lose a bag over somebody who's not. If they're Jack Rabbit, they should have been able to get a bag. Like, why did you come to the fucking Time Guy to get a bag? And how was I able to do it? Is because I was able to say it, talk about it right. So, you know,
right.
he just didn't want to believe that his business structure wasn't set. I'm not even the best businessman, but I knew that shit wasn't good. And then when I brought it to Kevin was like, I can't touch it. They're already selling tickets. Like, what does everyone promised? What sponsors are involved?
You've seen me get, you know, over $1 million before. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
bro, I learned from you, dude. I learned from you. I learned from Cadillac Raw Recipes, and I learned from Organic, Avo, and Go. I learned from all you dudes. I learned from some of the best. So for me, it's like there's certain things that have to fucking happen for it to
I
work.
Know that ain't
but
nobody coming out their pockets. Ain't nobody coming out their pockets spending 5 figures without a business structure that they can see and grasp.
And I was period. I was like, I told him, think of yourself, dude. Your name's gonna be fucked. All these people that you're trying to help, like, think of yourself for one time, because when you think of yourself, you're gonna get everybody paid. You're gonna take the percentage they give you, take whatever fucking doesn't happen, and then invest it, bro. But the fact is this is a good thing, dude. Like, you got a pretty big investment that I wish I've got, but I didn't know you could even set up Diz versus Math in a fight. Like, this is crazy. Like, I would have never have thought.
Yeah, I'm definitely impressed too, and that's why, like, I kept asking, like, because there seems to be a discrepancy between what people believe they're supposed to be getting paid and what 65 and I just know that I'm not calling 65 a liar. I don't think he's lying, but I think that there's just a discrepancy. There's a misunderstanding between what Diz thinks he's getting and what 65 thinks Diz thinks.
Yeah. I mean, today I actually talked to Diz and Math, and they were on the phone together, and they were talking about it, and they feel like fuck, like they were giving 65 his chance. They were like, hey, if 65 can get that bag, we're gonna do it. If they said if they can't get it, they said fuck, what's good, you know. So I said I'm already
kind of what I was trying to explain earlier. Like, the fighters, the battlers, whatever you want to call them, they just want the event to go down. They just want the money that they were promised, so they don't really care if it's 65 malathion or a fucking 8-year-old girl that pays them. You feel me? They just want their money.
That's what I told him, dude. That's what I told him. I was like, bro, you're gonna be marked out. Like you need, like that's 100, like more than 100K at the end of this event, dude. You gotta get a fucking ring. You gotta get people. You gotta get refs. You gotta make like what the fuck, dude? I told him you should have taken the fucking bag, dude. You should have took it, man. I would have took it.
Yeah, so
I told him you're gonna.
I think Primo brought up a really good point. I think at this point, it's redundant to go around in circles. Let's focus on making things happen and not what happened prior.
I just feel like I had to defend myself a little bit because I'm not that dude, and I just want him to see that I'm not trying to be no snaky shit, but it's like fuck, you can't mess with people's money like that. And we know these guys. It's not like I can't get a hold of Disaster or Math or anybody,
Right.
So
yeah. That was my biggest concern, Diz, being such a close friend of mine and depending on money, and that was my only concern as far as that goes. But I feel like if people are willing to put their egos to the side and just work, this could happen, and this is something that people want to see. So, motherfuckers know where I'm at. I can help mediate, and that's what I'm down to do because I don't want. You know what I mean?
We're still planning on trying to make it happen. So I mean, it's just fucked up that it had to be this way, man. Like, it is what it is. But I was able to get that bag, and they're really serious. So I was like, what am I supposed to do? Not let it happen? Like, what the fuck? Like, Jesus, but it is what it is. And I'm gonna push for it. So everybody, you hit me up. I'm gonna try to get a 100% of nothing, 30% for something. Yeah, so I mean, I'm gonna try to get Diesel. I'm trying to get everyone back on that card. I know some people didn't even know they're on the card. I mean, did you see the Piper Boy vlog where he was saying that some people didn't even know that they were on the card and shit like that?
I didn't actually watch the blog. I was just
yeah.
I was going over things for my album, and a bunch of people were inboxing me saying that like, oh, somebody's calling you a snake. Someone's trying. They erased it, but I took a screenshot.
I got tagged at it, and I try to explain myself, and then he's getting all angry, and I'm telling him like, bro, there's an event October 6th. Take care of it, or I don't know. But from here forward, okay, I'm gonna say this publicly. Like, we're pushing to make it happen, and we're right now we're talking to sponsors, trying to get everything ready, but this is an event that's gonna take a lot, dude. It's gonna take like a fucking. They're gonna have to get weighed in, I think, and fucking have to, wear head like, and then get licensed and stuff, and then and then the homies obviously gonna have to pay for them to get licensed because they're not gonna come out, or maybe they might take it out of the deposit. I don't know. So these are all stuff that we're working on with like some professional fighter out there in fucking Bakersfield, and we're just seeing if it's possible. But it looks possible. I mean, they're talking about sponsor packets and shit. And I just talked to the homie a little while ago saying that he's interested. So he said he's going to call me tomorrow about some sponsor shit. So it looks like it's going down, I'm thinking. So I don't know, man. Like, I don't want to say that we're taking it, but fuck. I mean, maybe. I'm thinking if we can make it happen, but that shit's crazy.
65 and Mala, I think y'all dudes need to talk and have.
I think so too. We had a private inbox conversation, but it was just more him being angry at me and saying little things here and there, like how it goes. Like, oh, I'm gonna see, I'm gonna come see. I'm like, dude, don't be mad at me, man. Like, I'm not the one who said something. Piper Boy dropped the whole blog 3 hours ago. Like, you need to pay these fools. You can't tell someone you're gonna pay them $50,000 on a date and not do it. Come on, man. That's crazy. Like, he should have taken the bag. But
yeah,
it's all
like
good, man.
Like I said, if I was in his position, I would have taken the bag for sure. So
I have no issues. I'm down to chop it up with him. I don't take anything personal. Even if he did say some crazy shit, I didn't take it personal. But he feels a little angry because, he was depending on me to get that bag and he wanted it all his way. But you can't have leverage when you have no leverage. You don't even have a platform. You don't have nothing. There's no leverage. Like, if it was a King of the Dot platform, you probably could have negotiated something, but you don't have that. So if anything, the homie was just saving your ass. And but from here forward, I'm honestly I just stepped into something that I probably shouldn't have went so hard on. And I did, and here it is. These fools got the bag is there, the opportunity's there, and I just want to make it happen, dude.
And on a final note, what I want to say is, as far as bags go, money is not real until it's physically in your hand. And that's not, I'm saying that to everybody. So everybody, whether you're a
100%.
battle rapper, whether you're an event coordinator, whether you're an artist, whatever the fuck you do, you know, that hypotheticals, verbal agreements, none of that. And that doesn't even, it doesn't help the promoter. If you're promoting an event, organizing, curating an event, and you're working on verbal contracts, that don't help you, because that could bite you in the ass too.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why when I brought them up, I made sure I got, because I'm not, I mean, it's hard to put out his name, but Griffin was a part of the situation, and that was the business thing. So when I couldn't get a hold of 65, I didn't even cut him out when he fucking when he was having his legal shit. I hit up Griffin and I said, Griffin, what the fuck going on? I put Griffin on the phone with my money guy, and then they still didn't want to do it. So it was more like I went all the way through. I exhaustingly went through. But I told them I was afraid I don't want to lose this bag. Like, the more you guys are pushing shit, someone could be like, get irritated and say, you know what, I'm not trying to do this no
No,
more.
you're right. And to respond to the homie Spec, he said you have to honor verbals too. Of course you do, as a man. But like, if you're relying on verbal agreements, that just creates more opportunity for there to be blurred lines and confusion. And not having that paper trail equals a lack of accountability, and spirals into situations like this where nobody knows what the fuck is up. Everybody's telling everyone different
He's like,
stories.
I was agreeing. He said I was agreeing with you. He just said that. My guy.
No,
Hell
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
man.
But just to further expand on your point, you feel me?
You
Like,
know, well, put it like this: the guys say that they want to continue to do fights there because they're bringing in a fighter to train kids and to like teach kids how to do MMA, jiu-jitsu, and all that. So that guy who's helping is being connected with the whole facility. So he's helping out there.
I
So
mean,
they want to
if
continue to
lame
do
ass
fights.
fools like Logan Paul or whatever are getting paid hella money to fucking catch the fade and shit, that, like,
I'm
fools that
saying.
I would like to see the homies eat off of that shit. Homies like, you know, Geechee and Diesel and Diz and fucking Math
Well,
and all that.
Diesel, Geechee, Danny, SO, anybody, like, you
Yeah, of
know, I
course.
definitely, if that's what you guys want to do, I wouldn't even try to push that, even Spec. I wouldn't try to push nothing. But if that's what you guys want to do, fucking do it. Because in my head, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do this fucking Math and Diz and whatever else, and that's it. But everybody seems like this is what the fuck they want to do. So, I mean, we can make it happen. I just didn't want to step on toes, and I was just really, because I was just trying to
Well,
really.
yeah, and I think what happened obviously was Diz was hitting you up and trying to be like, trying to get answers, so that made you make phone calls. It wasn't like you were trying to like cut 65 out or mark him out or anything like that. It just that
No,
wasn't the intention.
and that wasn't their intention. Hold on, my bad. That wasn't their intention either. They didn't want to do that either. And even Math and them were saying, "Hey, we're giving him the benefit of the doubt. He's talking about he might get a bag. He just stopped talking to me, so he pretty much was saying he wanted to go get his own bag." And so I was like, "Fuck it." So I hit up when I talked to Math. He said, "You know, he's still looking for some shit." I was like, "If he gets the bag, that's dope." Someone who could put that money up and they didn't even question it. That's rare. How many events have we done? We try to get bags and people and it doesn't happen because it's not what they want, or I don't know. So all I'm saying is that I'm gonna try to do my best to
That's the
make it
thing.
happen.
And to respond to Spec's comments, like motherfuckers have templates for sponsorship decks already created, and we're ready to go. You feel me? Like, my girl's fucking has a master's degree and incredible at doing that, but like, I didn't even have proper information as far as what the overhead was. It took literally 3 conversations for me to find out. And that's just like, there's a lot of blurred lines, and that
But
goes
you know
back
what's
to,
crazy too? Where it went bad is the fact that there was no money up front, and when he was negotiating prices, he was pretty much going off of prices off of future vending sponsors and fucking and door money and ticket sales. And so everyone was so people were hiking up their prices a lot more, saying, well, fuck, if you can't hit my bank account now, you need to pay me this much. So that's where it gets a little weird because now we have to go renegotiate, you know, and it was and to renegotiate
Yeah,
with
well,
guys that
it's
are,
like it's like or what it's like saying, you know what, Malathion, you'll be the hottest rapper in the game right now if you went and got a beat from Timberland. You feel me? If you had a Timberland beat, oh yeah, who finna pay for that? You feel me? Like, great idea. Where you gonna get that from though? You feel me? Like,
you gotta
motherfuckers
go to the
all have
hood.
great ideas, but who's willing to cash out?
Yeah, and it has to make sense. And that's what I said. This is an amazing idea. You have somebody who's willing to put up bread. Let's make it happen
That's
business
what I
wise
told.
because you're
That's
not
what
a
I told
business dude.
65. I told him it's like he found 10 kilos of coke in a town he's never been to and he's never sold coke before.
Yeah, dude. And you gotta find someone, you gotta trust somebody. You gotta trust somebody in this business game, or else you're gonna end up thinking everyone's trying to get you. And
Yeah,
then and it's like it's better to trust somebody and make a mistake and learn than to not trust anybody and to be in that situation. You know? He didn't have to get marked out like that. I didn't go out exposing him. He exposed himself. And I'm gonna keep talking about it because of that. It was just weird. Like I try to help him. You
well,
know what I'm saying?
I always like to look for a positive spin on situations, and to me, the silver lining here is there's more transparent dialogue about the business practices of our culture and how people need to move, especially when they're doing events a larger capacity and not just, you know what I mean, fucking 20 battles that 6 people watch.
But it's crazy the way I was able to talk to get this bag was just learning how you guys. I watched you talk and get plenty of bags. You know what I'm saying? So like it was just it just this was the perfect time and it happened and I just was like, all right, well if it's not gonna happen on your guys' end legally, then what the fuck? I can make it happen. You guys want a bag? All right, I
And I
went
and
talked.
I think what like what you had told me when this was first coming up, when 65 was tweeting him or posted that he wasn't, he had a legal situation, whatever it was, and it looked like he was going to be disappearing for a second, whatever. What you had said then is like, yo, I want to make sure that 65 still gets repped. I don't want to just gaffle this shit from him. Like, you specifically said that to me. I recall you saying that to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I said it, and I
And
even
so it's
said it
like,
to
but I think he needs to, like, if anything, like, realize that he, like, yes, if you're capable of being the one that fucking scores the game-winning touchdown, he's still gonna be acknowledged for being the fucking left tackle or
yeah.
the fucking, you know what I'm
Like
saying?
you ain't gonna be you ain't gonna be Kobe, but you're gonna get a ring, bro. You're gonna get that Lakers ring. You're gonna be straight. Like you like get this bag, bro. I was like, don't you like taking your girl to fucking get sushi or some shit, dude? Like, don't you want money in your fucking pocket, man? Like, take the bag, dude. Like you're not gonna piss anybody off. I promise you that.
You know, his name's
Like
Glasses Melon.
glasses melon full. What's up, doc? Hey, I'm just trying to help, man. You know, so everyone holler at me, you know, and I'm gonna try to make this shit fucking try to make you
Yeah,
try to see what's up.
like what I was trying to explain in 65. Like, I understand why he was frustrated. Like, he felt like because he doesn't know the logistics of the business, and he just felt like his idea was being stolen from him. When you were just like basically trying to help him not fucking fall flat on his face, and it was,
Yeah.
it was a lot of
Well,
times it's not what you say, it's how you say it. You know what I mean?
yeah, and I try to be so nice, dude. And I was being even a pushover. I was even saying like, "Fuck, I'll give you some of mine." Like if you don't get that much percentage, I'll break you off some of mine. If I don't even know what I'm getting. Like I was doing this. I haven't even talked about what I'm getting yet. And all I'm trying to do is just be like, "Fuck it, I'm making this happen." I know I'm gonna get kicked down, but fuck it. Like I don't have that 100,000. I don't like my leverage here was putting people together, and I usually get broken off cool with that shit. So to me, it's like and then at the end of the day, I have good. It makes good business reports, and then it's just this is something I just felt I could do. I was able to do it, and I tried making it work. And I'm just trying to clear myself as in someone like I wasn't trying to do no snaky shit. Neither were you. So we were. I was really just trying to fuck, dude. I was
Yeah,
just really trying to make this happen, man.
no, for sure. And I think that's clear at this point. It's just a matter of everybody getting on the same level. So
Yeah, man,
I,
he could holler and that fool blocked me, man. That fool was telling me a bunch of crazy shit and blocked me. That fool don't want to talk to me. But I mean, fuck. I'm still
I
trying to make
mean,
this shit go
it's
down
in
myself
everybody's
too.
best interest. You know, Primo fuck with 65. Hopefully, he's watching this right now. Let's
No,
let,
I see him right there messaging me, and I think I'm not messaging me. He's messaging in the chat, and I think he added me. So I mean, at the end of the day, fuck, I'm still trying to make it happen myself, because that's a lot of money, dude. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Like, that shit's crazy. Like, fuck, dude, 60K, no paperwork. Like, and the homie said, I can't fuck with it. And I talked him back into it to fuck with it. I said, bring on 65 and bring. And he said, okay, I'll take a phone conference with him. And then it was like, dude, this is a lot of money. Like, a lot of, that shit scared. And I was getting anxiety talking to him. Like, bro, aren't you scared? Or aren't you nervous? Like, I would have been projectile vomiting everywhere in my fucking house, just vomiting everywhere.
me
So,
personally, I get more nervous at the prospect of not having that money.
dude, but I mean, I was tripping that I was able to get it when he told the homie the numbers. The homie was like, all right, and even he said like, man, I ain't never spoke those numbers to anyone and them not laugh at me. And I'm like, bro, this is big boy shit. Like, you have a good event here, you got to do whatever you can to make this shit happen, dude. You know. So with all that being said, like, I'm still trying to, I'm still trying to lock down numbers. But as far as anyone getting close to making it happen, I don't want to toot my horn, pause, but I think pretty close. You know what I'm saying? So
Well, let's just hope this doesn't end up like American Me, and
and I'm getting choked out in a cornfield somewhere.
no,
Jesus.
I'm just saying. No, I didn't say you was a little puppet, but fucking regardless, much love to everybody. Glad we had some progressive dialogue, and let's continue to see how this saga unfolds.
My guy, let's chop it up.
West up, by the way, Sock Fest next week. Project Globe, Fresh Coast, freestyle battles is going the fuck down.
Yes.
Anybody who got bars off the head, want to perform at a crazy festival, Merce, Crooked Eye, Havoc and Mob Deep, R.A. the Rugged Man, it's just going to be turned, pop up, and pop
Blue
in
and
full
Exile.
effect. Yeah.
Blue and Exile.
Yeah, Blue and Exile, that shit's going to be crazy. So you already know what time
Love
it
you,
is.
Shady.
Real gang shit. Fives up.
All right. All my guys.